This is the best of both worlds. I am your host, Southern Belle, and this is my co-host,
the Brooklyn boy.
What is this? Are you getting ready for Halloween? That voice is
little something. That's my Barry White voice, you know.
Oh, that's your bedroom voice.
Yeah. Lead us into what we're gonna talk about.
Absolutely. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Seriously, what are we talking about?
So last week we ended up on the episode talking about intimacy and sex and things of that nature. So this week's topic is, should a woman withhold sex from her mate?
Well, that's gonna take some unpacking.
Oh man, that's definitely.
This is a good topic, right? Because this is true subject matter. Like when people hit me up in the inbox, they're like, "Yo, I love that you guys are talking about things that are relevant to real life people and common day relationships and all the stuff that we see is that all the stuff that's going on with like famous people, entertainers." Politics.
There we go. Yeah.
So we are bringing a platform so we can discuss these things that are relevant for everyone, right?
I mean, I'm hoping that some people may listen to what we're talking about and it may be their truth, or maybe help them in their relationships, or help them going forward in life.
Going with it. This is a part of why we are here. We're not relationship experts.
Not at all.
Not life experts.
Please don't listen to me all the time.
We're not experts at all.
Because I'm going to give you something that you might not want to do.
Yeah, we just want to talk about it and get into these things because this is like serious stuff.
It is.
Should a woman withhold sex in a relationship?
Yes. So, would you like me to lead off, or do you want to lead off on this one?
Sure, you can go ahead and lead off. It's your question.
You want me to lead off? So, should a woman withhold sex in a relationship? There are a lot of things that can happen if she withholds, but here's what I'll say. I'm gonna start off by saying I feel like a woman should not withhold sex from her mate unless there are certain parameters that lead her to withhold sex in a relationship. Now, with that being said, when a woman withholds sex, she has to understand this. That's what bring other things into the relationship. Cheating, that probably first thing that went to people's head is cheating.
First thing that went to your head is cheating.
Well, most people say, well, if I'm not getting it at home, then where else can I get it if I can't get it at home?
Wow. There's so much more wrong in a relationship than I'm not getting it at home.
But this is what people
get there.
Right, but here's the thing. This is the thing that most, and I'm gonna say, some men feel like if I can't get it from my woman, right, the woman that I'm married to, the woman that I'm living with, and she is physically able to give it to me, then when can I get it? Where else can I get it? So with that being said, I don't feel like a woman should withhold sex from her mate unless she is physically unable to give sex to her mate. Now, going back, we talked about these things before. A woman, yes, physically, emotionally, a man may have done some things that he should not be getting the cookie or the nookie from his woman, right? He may have not,
What's an example of that? Where he should not get the cookie or the nookie?
An example.
It sounds like there are some acceptable reasons when she could withhold it. Right?
She could withhold it, but at the end of the day, I feel like a reason may be you guys may have had an argument. He may have done something that she didn't like. Maybe he's made a decision, a family decision without consulting with his mate.
That's serious.
That's serious, right? Mm-hmm. So that may have been a reason why she withholds the cookie. But
so that's a viable reason to withhold the cookie.
I don't know, because if I jump in that bed and I want some, I feel like, hey,
I need you to be clear on your position, because you're saying two different things.
No, that is a viable reason to withhold the cookie, because at the end of the day, women are, and just learning this from my mother and people, my sister, women are very emotional creatures, and just dealing with certain situations in life, women do go through certain things in life. So if I make a decision as a man that may impact my mate when it comes to the household or anything of that nature, maybe even a business move where I take a job in Chicago or something like that, and I didn't talk these things over with you, you may want to withhold the cookie. And at the end of the day, and as a man, sometimes we don't think straight. Sometimes we make decisions that we don't even think about our mate. So at that time, now it's like I come home, hey babe, hey, got some good news. I did this and I did that, and you like, well, yo, hold on, we're in this together, right? Because now the cookie or the nookie is two people, right? That we're in that together, you know. Well, physically, I can't say what I want to say, but physically, you know, holding out the cookie on that aspect, I expect that you should. But you know, any other aspect, other than you're just tired, babe, you know, because I'm tired sometimes, and you may want it, and I give it to you when I'm tired. So, but and then you know, but at the end of the day, I feel like, unless it's a valuable reason, you should not be withholding the cookie, because this is the crazy thing. Let's take it a step further. Before you get married, technically you're not supposed to have sex until you get married anyway, right?
Who really? Let's be
no,
real.
no. I'm going off of.
Who's technicality?
Well, I'm going somewhere with this.
Are you talking to a certain population of people, right, or are we talking to the majority of the people?
I'm just going in an aspect of saying that Bible, church reasons, right? But I'm just talking in general, right? So if you wait until you get married, let's take the Bible. Let's say you wait until you get married, right? Mm-hmm. Now I've waited typically, let's say 2 years. Got engaged. I waited 2 years to get the cookie. I want the cookie so bad. I get it on the night we got married, you know, the honeymoon. And now,
hopefully you like the cookie on the honeymoon.
Hopefully the cookie was good. But now I've waited for the cookie, and now 6 months down the line, you're withholding it, and I'm like, we're married. We supposed to be able to do this whenever we want, wherever we want. Backseat of the Jeep, like we talked about, wherever you feel comfortable with.
What if you're not married and you're in a relationship? There are a lot of people that are married. There are a lot of people that are just in a relationship and haven't evolved to that stage of the relationship yet.
And you feel like they should withhold the cookie?
No, you feel like they should withhold the cookie. You just told us reasons that they could have to withhold the cookie.
Right, but okay, so if they're not married, right?
You said there's a contingency on when you can withhold the cookie. Yeah. I don't think most of these men would agree with you, though.
I don't kid. Well, here's the thing. Let's see. That's the thing. Most men want to be macho, right? Most men want to be like, nah, I should be able to get the cookie, right? Because I got some friends that are married, and we have these conversations like, yo, my wife ain't giving me none. I'm like, but then I gotta ask them, why isn't she giving you some? What's going on that she's not giving you some?
So is she really withholding it? If you say that as long as there is a contingency, she can opt out of physical or intimacy or sex, is that really withholding it?
No. Sometimes women just don't want to give up the cookie because they want to be themselves.
What does that mean?
They just want to be mean sometimes. You ain't getting none of this.
Okay.
So at the end of the day,
so you can withhold it as long as you as a woman feel like you have a good reason, or does your man have to constitute what reason is a good reason?
No, your man doesn't have to constitute. But if you have a reason for saying, babe, I do, listen, I'm upset right now. I didn't. You don't deserve no cookie tonight. But you ain't gotta say that. But you should know as a man when you gonna get the cookie or not. If you made a crazy decision, you should know that you're not getting the cookie tonight.
But most men feel like they should get it all the time because it is a part of the relationship.
It is. It is a big part. It is a big part.
It's a huge part of the relationship.
It is a big part.
And so as long as the woman has a reason for why she is withholding it, you are saying as a Brooklyn boy that is okay. You're telling all the fellas out here and gentlemen that is okay.
If she has a good reason, right?
What constitutes a good reason? You or her? I just asked you that.
That's something y'all. Well, that's something y'all talk about because
it's convoluted.
It could be convoluted. Because listen. My thing is this: as a person who says what a good reason is or what not a good reason is, because your good reason may not be my good reason.
So now we're already beefing, and now we're going to get into another beef about my reason for withholding it? Is that what you're saying?
Relationships do that, don't they?
I get it, but I'm just trying to understand the order of how this necessarily goes based on how you feel about it. So a woman can withhold sex as long as there is a reason. Then the man and the woman must have a conversation to decide if you both concur that the reason is good enough.
Listen,
this is a lot.
It is, but this is a lot that people go through, and this is not our truth. It's a lot of relationships. I'm sure you got friends that.
No, this is your truth. This is your opinion.
Listen,
right?
Well, here's the thing.
We started out with your opinion.
Well, we started out with my opinion, right? But at the end of the day, when you look at this situation, right? Yes, I do believe that some women do hold on to cookie. Do I believe that they should? No, because it leaves the door for opening up.
You just said that they could withhold the cookie.
If they have a valid reason.
Okay, so you just said that they should not. You said, do I believe that they should not? And then you said, no, I don't believe that they should not. So you do believe that they can, As long as there is a valid reason, ladies, and then the man has to substantiate the validity.
No. You misunderstood what I said.
I definitely am.
No. So here's what I'm saying is this: as a man, as a woman, women will have a reason for withholding the cookie, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, your reason is what your reason is. We may not agree with it, but that's your reason, right? Now, do I feel like a woman should withhold the cookie? In a relationship, I feel like, no, you should not withhold the cookie. But if you have a valid reason why you're not giving me any sex, right? It's up to me to say, okay, I agree or disagree why you're not giving me, because there are going to be times when I may withhold giving you some, right? But I feel like this opens up the door when a person is withholding sex. It opens up the door for so many other things to happen, so many other variables to happen, because now as a woman or as a man, you don't want your spouse or your mate to be getting it anywhere else, because they feel like once you're in a relationship, you feel like you should be getting the cookie from the person that you're in a relationship with. And if you're not getting the cookie from the person you're in a relationship with, as a person, you're saying to yourself, well, if I can't get it from my mate, right, and this is the person that I'm with, how do I satisfy my needs? How do I satisfy that part of the relationship if I can't get it from you? How do I satisfy that part of the relationship if I'm not getting it from the person that I sleep in the bed with every night?
It makes sense.
Because if I can't get it from you and I'm laying in the bed with you, you mean to tell me it's a month, 2 months, we not having sex? This opens up the door for so many things. And when you start withholding that part of the relationship from the other person, so many things can happen.
Okay, so if sex is being withheld for an extended period of time, and I think that's the position that you're speaking from, not just occasionally.
Right.
This is a lot. It's all over the place.
But
so in the position that this is a long-term relationship, right? I'm trying to figure out how to unpack it so we can stay on course. So in terms of a long-term relationship, long-term withholding it, right? Because that's what it sounds like you're talking about.
Right.
Because you keep saying that it opens the door for something else.
It does.
Because if it happens occasionally, it shouldn't be opening the door for anything else. So
depending on the people.
Depending on the people.
Right.
But shouldn't the root be identified here before we even get on the backside of this thing? Or, if you want to step outside of your relationship. Because somewhere, somehow, there is some bigger stuff going on in this relationship that has nothing to do with the woman withholding the cookie. So there are some root issues that have not been identified. And obviously, as a man, the male in the relationship, you're part of the accountability piece in everything that's gone wrong. But you are mad at her because she's withholding it. One thing I know about being a woman, if you're withholding from your man for a long period of time, there is something detrimentally wrong in your relationship.
Let me ask you a question. Does it always have to be that the man did something?
It could be that the woman did something, but let's go back to that part so we don't chase rabbits, so we can stick to it and make it make sense. So if there is something that's wrong long term, why is the focus on the sex being withheld and the focus is not on remedying what is wrong with the relationship, which we would call the root issue? So
I'm gonna put the guys out there for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good question you just asked. And why
I know.
So you made a good point. And guys typically, they don't care about what the issue, and we're talking, right? Guys don't care about why she's taking what they did wrong. All they care about is, I want the cookie. Right.
Wow.
I don't, and this is just from conversations, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna speak because y'all men don't want to tell y'all truth. Y'all don't want to speak y'all truth. But at the end of the day, you guys are more worried about why you're not getting the cookie and what's the reason for her not giving you the cookie. You should be.
Also include yourself in that.
Well, I'm not in a relationship and I'm not married, so right now I'm talking to the general public.
You're a man and you're speaking for men, so you include yourself in that as an accountability piece.
I'm speaking to those that are in the relationships and those that are dealing with people and those that are having issues at home in their relationship. So men, you might want to find out why you're not getting a cookie before you start talking about, yo, my girl ain't giving me the cookie, because like the Southern Belle said, there is a reason why, a root to the reason why she's not giving a cookie. Now, if we're talking,
it has to be if it's long term,
if it's long term. But if it's long term. But I also feel that men have to understand certain things and parameters of the relationship when it comes to that aspect. Even if it's a short term, let's just say a week or two or some things, there may be something wrong with why she's not giving you the cookie. There might be some parts of the relationship where the sex is not up to par, right? Or that part is not good. And you might have found out, you should have found out a long time ago, when you first, like we went back, last episode we talked about the stages of dating, right? When you were being intimate with your partner, there might have been some things that she didn't like. And then if you continued on the relationship, maybe she wanted you to step your game up in certain areas and you just didn't take a hint. Now she loves you. She doesn't want to let you go, but she's holding sex. I mean, there's so many things that a woman can hold sex in a relationship.
So is that another reason, as you would coin a valid reason why a woman can withhold sex in a relationship?
It could be a valid reason, because you have a lot of people that don't look at sex
as not a chemistry is right, how she can withhold sex.
And a lot of people don't look at sex as a big part of a relationship though these days, but I think it is.
I do not concur.
You don't think that people don't think sex is?
I think a lot of people are becoming more open in their sexuality.
No.
And they are identifying that they are more sexual beings, and it has created a space where we place a higher level of importance on sex in the relationship.
That's what I was saying. I'm saying right now. No. What I was saying was sex in a relationship now has come to the forefront. So I'm just using the number. Don't take this as a. Some people may take 80% of relationship is sex, and the other 20 is dealing with finances. This, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what it is.
Of course,
but
it's just an example.
But I think that more and more people are taking sex more than the other part of the relationship when it comes to certain things. And this is why a man will get upset when a woman is withholding, because he has put sex to the forefront of the relationship, and that's what he typically wants more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. So,
and with me saying that, I know we've been going back and forth. Usually I say something, but we kind of been talking back and forth and giving, just going back and forth with this subject.
I haven't said much.
I
haven't even given my perspective yet.
Right. So that's what would be your perspective on withholding sex in a relationship? Do you think that women should withhold sex? Do you feel like a man should get it when he wants? Do you feel like sex is open in a relationship? Like, where do you feel like at this point sex and withholding it is a good thing?
So my perspective on it as a woman, I say as a mature woman, is that the term itself, withholding, just sounds like that's some level of control mechanism that's being utilized. Because I think of, if you're not having sex and then you are withholding it, it sounds like there's some level of intention in the process. So if you're intentionally doing it as a mechanism of control, if you're utilizing it as a way to manipulate your mate to get something that you otherwise couldn't get, or if he said, he or she said no, or for whatever reason, those are reasons I think when people are withholding, they're trying to influence the outcome of something. And when, in terms of those things, absolutely not.
I agree.
To that degree, I would say,
and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you broke that.
I would say no.
I agree with that. I agree.
It's still, we throwing this word around all the time, toxic, right?
Right.
Because people that do things like that have an issue with being able to probably identify their root issues, because there's something wrong and you're doing that.
Right.
And it's like you're grasping sometimes, and when you want to figure out what can I do to maintain control, I can do this thing, because we know as women that men place a high level of importance on sex, on the physical intimacy, right? It's really some surface level stuff.
I get you.
So because of that, if you're withholding it, absolutely not. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's mature. For women that are listening to this, I don't think it's cool. And for so many reasons, we back ourselves into a corner when we are doing it. So if you are doing it, I would say stop. But there is a flip side for me.
Okay.
All right?
Give me the flip side.
So the flip side, I would say, you as a man would still consider it withholding sex, but me as a woman, because you feel like it's like cut and dry. You guys kind of deal in the black and white and not much gray area, right? And that's okay, because that's how things are concrete.
All right.
In your mind, you're saying if my woman is not, being physically intimate with me, or we're not openly engaged in sex, she's withholding it, and that's all that it is.
Right.
But let's say that I'm not considering that I'm withholding it. You have hurt me. Let's say you've hurt me. My mate has upset me. You gave all these extra reasons. You take a job somewhere, and I don't even understand that piece. Like, you've accepted a job, we didn't even talk about it on the forefront.
Right.
But those are extreme reasons why a mate could be upset, right? Or we could be upset. Maybe there's something going on. It could be some outside thing. So many reasons why. As a woman, I understand that we are emotional creatures, right? We're mentally stimulated and we are emotionally drawn in. That's how you captivate us. Anything that you do that interferes with that dynamic makes our body shut down.
Okay.
Right? So if I am not drawn to you physically because of how you have moved or you have not moved me mentally or emotionally, and a lot of times because the man has done something wrong to hurt her or make her feel some kind of way, am I really withholding sex because I just can't even get in the mood to even want to have sex? If I'm in my feelings, if my heart is broken, if I'm really upset and I'm angry and I can't tap out of that mode that I'm in, am I really intentionally withholding sex from you? If I just can't be stimulated to have sex with you? Is that the same? You would say a woman is withholding. A woman is just like, I don't even want him to touch me right now because of how I feel.
But I get it. I get it though.
So is it still withholding?
No, that's not withholding.
You guys are dealing in the black and the white. So if you would take some time, and I would further say, remember I said, what's the root issue? So if guys would, and I'm not saying every guy, so this type of guy that we're talking about that's like, you're withholding, you're doing this for this reason, maybe if you would tap into what the root is and you have maybe a close-knit relationship with your person, right? You could understand that they are going through something that is impairing their ability for those other things to get those juices flowing for them to even want to be sexual with you, right?
Okay.
So maybe if you could tap into the root.
Okay.
Speak to it from the emotional perspective and the mental perspective of it.
Okay.
And even if you all are still at odds because you do not agree, as a woman, it would make me feel so much more better because I would feel like my man cared about how I feel. He cares about my thoughts. He cares about how this has moved me, in an adverse, from an adverse position. And that in itself would kind of melt whatever's going on inside of me that makes me more receptive to my body becoming open to you. Because as a woman, my body shuts down if I don't feel that way about my man.
Okay.
Because I'm not in a good space with him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So is it withholding?
It's not withholding. Now, you went back. You said something at the beginning of this, which I want to go right back to when you started. You said you don't agree with when a woman does blah, 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 blah.
Intentionally.
Right. So I agree with that. So this goes back to when I talked about, we talked about cheating and it brings other aspects into the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So if a woman is intentionally holding sex, right?
For an extended period of time.
Does that not leave the door open for some other things to happen in the relationship?
It absolutely leaves the door open for something to happen in another relationship. But I want you to give me a good reason why a woman would intentionally withhold sex with no emotional or mental issue going on in a relationship that just makes her wake up every day and says, I'm not giving my man this cookie. And there's nothing else wrong. I need you to give me a good reason for it to be a long-term situation why she would do that. Because the examples of what I said, manipulating, wanting to get something out of you that you otherwise would not get because I'm just upset with you and I know that you place a high level of importance on this, so I'm going to just do this because I got the one up on you, right?
Right.
How long does that occur?
That's usually if a man, and I hate to say this.
That's not long-term, is it?
No, but I'm gonna.
Is it long-term?
Yeah, it's long-term. But
I'm saying that type of situation.
No, it's not. If a man, that's not. That is long term. If you're saying what you just said is, he has, that you're not giving me sex, you're not doing all these things. Usually, you say give your answer. Usually, if a man cheats, a woman will withhold and be like no.
So you're giving a good reason why a woman could withhold sex,
right?
Like you said on the beginning,
right? There
are reasons that are valid. So you're introducing a man being a cheater into this situation. But you're mad at her because she's withholding sex and you've been out here cheating? You're going to have to do better, Brooklyn boy.
No. You keep using me. You keep using me.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your examples and experiences.
Right. Well,
so you introduced a man cheating into the situation.
Right.
That is definitely a reason why I, as a woman, would withhold sex for an extended period of time, if I made a decision that you're going to be here and I'm going to stay,
right,
I still need to work on my level of trusting you.
Right.
You've been out there dealing with someone else.
True.
No, you do not get to touch my body. No, you do not get to get all those I love yous and all the intimacy, the emotional, the mental, the things that I pour into a relationship because you have betrayed me and you have defied your commitment and defiled your commitment to me. You feel some kind of way because I won't let you touch me for months?
After a while,
then a man has an issue, and then it goes back to exactly what I was saying. We got to start dealing with the root issues, because that is the root issue. You're out here like cheating and hoeing, and you want a woman to still do right by you?
Want that cookie?
Come on, we got to be able to have real conversations.
No, I'm saying,
so is that your example?
No, that's not.
But that's a great example of how a woman could.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example.
But you are the issue as a man, so you got to suck that up, Buttercup, and deal with that.
You're right. A lot of men, and this is the thing, and this is why I said when I said what I said, I'm talking, and I hope a lot of men understand that I'm putting y'all out there that you definitely need to understand the root of the problem, but you have to understand that she does have feelings, she does, and whatever you put her through, she is going to maybe withhold sex in the situation. Now, it does not mean as a man that just because she's withholding and she's not giving you any, that you have free will to go do what you want, because now you're introducing something else into the relationship. So if a woman is withholding or she's not having sex with you, you need to understand the reason.
Said this is the reason why people do it, though.
There are reasons why people go out here.
This is the reason, fellas, why people do it, why men step out. But the Brooklyn boy is also saying, although we can identify that is the reason, he's telling you not to do it.
Exactly. That's what I said.
This is interesting.
But
okay, so women can withhold sex as long as they have a valid reason.
Yeah.
So where does that leave men when women are withholding sex as long as they have a valid reason?
Wow. What? See, this is crazy because I don't know too many men that's going to withhold from sex, right? But they do.
I didn't say the men withholding sex. I'm talking about how do they feel? Their needs are not being met. A woman is, per you, she can withhold sex as long as she has a valid reason.
Okay.
So when she feels like she has a valid reason, where does that leave the man in terms of him not being fulfilled? Because you said as a man, it's okay for her to withhold sex as long as she has a valid reason.
As a mature man, he has to understand that, right? But where does that leave the man? Wow. Where does that leave him? Where does it leave him? It leaves him in certain places if he's not mature. He has to, and this just goes back to, if he's not mature, it puts him in the mindset of, back to these conversations. If I'm not,
we're talking about this, obviously.
Right. If I'm not getting it at home, then if I can't get it from my wife or I can't get it from my person that I'm with, this is why she wonders why, and this is the conversations. She wonders why I'm dealing with so and so. I'm getting it from so and so because she's not giving it to me. Now, I'm not saying to do that, man. Trust me. This is some of the reasons why the conversations that are being had. If my woman is not giving it to me, it leads them to want to do other things. Now, where does it leave him? There's a question that was asked. It leaves him in the space of he has to become a mature man at that point. He has to understand, going back to what you said, he has to get to the root of the evil. Why isn't my woman giving it to me? Why doesn't she want to be touched at this moment? Why is she talking to me the same way she used to talk? As a mature man and wanting to help his relationship, he would want to get to the root of it. If he doesn't want to get to the root of it, then he's going to keep having problems in the relationship, and this thing's going to keep going over and over.
We're going to keep having conversations about men feeling like women are withholding sex. Right? Because that's the thought process. Every time a man feels like he's not getting what he wants at home, he's saying that a woman is utilizing sex to hold it over his head, to control the dynamic, right?
Why? Because sex has become the forefront of many relationships now, right? No,
because men place a high level of importance over sex.
Let me ask you a question. You don't feel like women do the same thing?
I don't think that women place a high level of importance. Not the majority. I feel like some women do. But I feel like the majority of women place their emotions and their mental health and capacity at the forefront of the relationship. But I'm glad that you said that, because I wanted to give you something that I felt like is similar in principle, but maybe not equivalent in the dynamic and totality of the situation, right? What men do. So men feel some kind of way because women withhold sex physically, no matter what the reason is, right? This topic of conversation. women feel some kind of way when men withhold emotion, right? So think about it. Think about the times you've been upset with a girlfriend or a mate. You were married before. Men don't kiss you on your forehead when they leave to go to work. They don't kiss your nose anymore. They don't tell you I love you. They may not hug you when they're mad at you. They may not do those endearing things. They may have these pet names that they call you, like baby cakes and buttercup and sugar mama. 9 times out of 10, I want you to chime in. Don't men withhold that when they feel some kind of way with their woman?
Yeah, men. But
hold on. Yes or no? Don't men withhold those things? They don't move the same way, right?
Sometimes they don't.
Oh,
sometimes they don't.
But majority of the time, right?
Okay, I give it to you. Sometimes they don't.
So women are moved emotionally.
Okay.
We are stimulated by the thought process and how you move our emotions, right?
Okay.
So if we place a high level of importance over those things, and we can just talk about the emotional capacity of it, right?
Right.
If you remove the emotion, aren't you withholding the emotional intimacy from me? Aren't you withholding the thing that is very primal to me in the relationship?
Yeah,
aren't you removing the thing that moves me the most, that creates a warm, high level of connectivity between us? The principle is the same. You place a high level of importance on sex, the physicality of it,
and
you place a high level of importance on the emotional connection. Someone withholding it is still doing the same thing, so you guys are equally as wrong because you do it constantly.
I like how you wrap that up.
I know you do.
I like how you wrap that up because I had some stuff that I would like to say, but
no,
I like I like how you wrap that up. So we thank y'all for tuning into this episode. We hope that you got something from this episode as far as withholding and
women stop withholding sex intentionally to control the dynamic or manipulate your man. That's not cool. Then you're feeling some kind of way if he looks towards somewhere else or becomes acceptable to another woman.
And men, kiss on the forehead, on the nose, on the cheek, whatever, you know what I mean. Don't stop being like that, you know what I mean. And if we gotta understand both parties here.
Yeah.
We can't withhold from each other, but
men, be more communicative because that would fix a woman potentially withholding sex. Most of the time when a woman does not want to sleep with her mate, it's because of some emotional disconnect that's going on or some mental disconnect.
Communicate, and then you won't have these problems. But this has been another great episode of Southern Belle.
And this is the best of both worlds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube. Check us out on IG.
Man, listen, keep watching next coming episodes. I hope y'all keep going to the page. We got a lot of content from we went to Dallas and travel and Houston, the whole 9. So y'all keep staying in tune. New Year's is coming. Some stuff coming up for New Year's, man. So thank y'all for tuning in. Brooklyn Boy, Southern Belle, best of both worlds. We out.